Hey, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome to Narcissu Sumire, chapter 6 of Sumire's story. So, chapter 12 and 12th video of this series. The Roadster. Well, I know what this is about because, well, I know this other story, so the Roadster is a well-known name to me. You probably know that as well. Well, probably the first thing you thought about with the name is the correct one. Anyway, I don't know if this is the last chapter of Sumire's story. We'll see about it. Let's begin. Red Roadster. Red Roadster, exactly. It was before the morning temperature check, as I was about to easily reach for my game. What came into view were the maps, the ones that the girl had previously lent to me. I looked a bit inside and couldn't find them interesting, and I also didn't know what use they would serve. I should return them instead of borrowing them for any longer. We were both hospital patients. If the timing were off, we'd have few chances to meet. Well, you can just go out to the park, I guess. In front of the hospital. I had Has she already come? Picking up the maps, I headed to the courtyard. I went past the waiting room and straight to the courtyard's flower bed. Every stood in the early morning courtyard, watering plants. As always, she was watering the spots that had new shoots. She spoke while looking at my wrist, at the white band. She spoke like she could clearly see the future. Did she know something? After all, for some reason, she even knew about the 7 floors rules. And whether it was true or not, she claimed to have memorized all the maps. She even seemed to know a lot about flowers. I know why, but maybe she just knew about everything? I once again returned to the 7th floor. As usual, I was sitting on my bed playing video games. Akari watched me idly as I did that. I had heard that she knew a lot about games and anime, but we didn't really talk about those topics much. However, on this day, there was one small difference. Thanks.
あなただって似たようなもんでしょ。まあそうなんだけど、ネトゲーに関してなら私の方が上かもね。
Saying that, she took something out of her bag. She especially brought with her today. A laptop? 2 of them? Much to my surprise, she brought something with her, and I had been wondering what it was.
じゃあ、スミレを招待してあげるわ。
She set down one of the laptops in front of me and turned it on. Oh, on the screen was some kind of game. Game in the game, okay?
いらっしゃいませ。にゃんにゃん。
It was a character from an anime or game, I guess. The first screen appeared to be initial character creation screen.
これはネット上の疑似学園。
Let's quickly Google if that thing really exists. Simulated school on the internet. Okay, you piqued my interest for some reason, but I tapped. Simulated school game. Let's go like that. Student scheme. Hey, you've got to be kidding me that that's actually a thing. No, that's some bullcrap. Alright, never mind then.
ユーザー同士が好きなアバターを使ってチャットするだけの場所よ。
Oh, come on now, you tell me that?
適当にキャラ作ったらログインすればいいわ。でも私、他の人と話すのは。大丈夫よ。今は私たちしかログインできないから。
Don't tell me you are the creator of that.
はい。気にしないで。じゃあ私も入ってみるわね。
She's the creator, right? As you started, I picked around the character and I clicked on the login button at the top of the screen.
なんかゲーム画面みたい。
On there was the character that I had just picked out. It was displayed as if I were appearing in a game.
面白いでしょ。
Well, interesting wasn't the word, since it was my first time seeing it. Fresh might be more accurate.
あれ？名前がタエになってる。ええ、この世界ではこれが私の名前なのよ。
Afterwards, we went to many places in the game. Basically, instead of a game, it was more a chat system where you can pretend to be characters you like. I'm sure that it was a place for people who love games to gather and communicate with each other. I didn't know the original material, and there was no one else to talk to, so I don't really get it.
こんな感じなんだけど、楽しんでくれた？面白かった。
But why did the game just now have no people in it? If it's an online game, you'd think it would have a lot more people. Plus, what was the purpose of the game anyway?
私の借りを返すため。はい。そのために用意した場所なのよ。
She spoke as if she saw what I was thinking, but apparently it sounded like she had made the game herself.
ねえ、それって。ちょっとコンビニでも行ってくるわ。
Before I could ask a question, she left quickly. As usual, I didn't understand her. My image of her became even more mysterious. Dinner was eaten and the sky was changing to night. A carrier had run off to the convenience store and I was sitting waiting for her. There was a knock at the door. I looked over. Had she returned?
ごめんね。少し遅くなっちゃって。お母さん。
I thought Mom wasn't coming today, but she made it here, even this late hour.
パジャマの替えと新しいテレビガイド買ってきたから。
Saying that, she put the things into the small storage box at the side of the bed. She then took the now empty convenience store bag and put my used pajamas inside.
よいしょっと。
With that, she sat down on the folding chair and started peeling an apple for me. This scene played out over and over whenever I was hospitalized. And each time I would have feelings that I just couldn't describe.
あら、お醤油が少ないわね。次に来るとき買ってくるけど、他に何かいる？大丈夫。そう。何か欲しいものあったら言ってね。
Her face was calm as she said that, but somewhere there was hesitation in her face. Mom used to complain about all sorts of things. Whenever something was off, she'd scold me, saying that I was a girl and should know better. But ever since I became sick, things changed. She stopped scolding at some point and started acting distant. Just like what my brother talked about the previous day. Could it be that Mom just didn't know how to act towards me too? If I hadn't gotten sick in the first place, would things not have gone this way? Would she still be giving me those head chops?
それじゃ、また来るわね。お母さん。どうしたの？そんな大きな声出して。
Yeah, oh my god. That wasn't raising voice really. For some reason, I had this feeling that I couldn't let her just go home like this.
どうしたの?
I couldn't find the words and wound up falling silent. Just what was it that I wanted to say? I didn't really know, and the words that finally came out were...
ごめんなさい.
At those words, it was Mom's turn to fall silent. To be honest, not even I want to say that. It was just I felt very sorry and wanted to express those feelings.
いいのよ。あなたが気にすることじゃないわ。
What came back was her usual gentle, calm voice, but her eyes were very sad.
それじゃ、また明日来るから。
With those final words, Mom left the room. I let out a big sigh and flopped down into bed. What in the world did I want to say? What was it that I wanted to convey to her?
いいお母さんじゃないの。え?
I looked up to see that Akari had returned from the convenience store. Apparently she had been peeking in on what just happened.
家の人はみんなあんな感じ? うん。お父さんもお兄ちゃんも優しい。そう。いい家族ね。
She murmured the word family somewhat nostalgically.
だからさ、ごめんなさいは言っちゃダメかもよ。え？きっとね、病人が口にしちゃいけない言葉なんだと思う。
That might be true. It didn't change the fact that I was sorry. It was how I felt. But if I told my family it would have the opposite effect. They might start feeling things were intolerable. The more earnest they were, the more they'd feel pained and helpless.
じゃあ、どう言えばいいの？そんなの簡単よ。ありがとう。これだけで十分なのよ。まあ、あんたよりは入院キャリア長いからね。先輩からのアドバイスよ。
I listened to Akari's advice in silence. I did not agree, nor shake my head to disagree. It probably was true. Much better than being told I'm sorry. With thank you, my family could even feel better. But I didn't think that was an easy thing. At least I didn't think I could say it. Lights out time had come, and I was once again alone in my room. I continued playing my game in the darkness. There was no meaning in clearing this game. It was a habit, a way to pass time.
親孝行は簡単。心配させないだけ。
Then I've been a seriously ungrateful daughter, even more so since I have become a shut-in for no real deep reason. Someone like me, I couldn't say thank you. No matter what I did, I felt guilty. I wound up wanting to apologize. If I suppressed that feeling, what sort of face would I be saying it with? Unable to work up the will to finish the game, I saved partway through and lay down on the bed. You know, whenever I had the thoughts like this, I'd always look at the stars. I went to the window and looked at the night sky from there.
綺麗な星空。
Ironic, I could see things so much more clearly from the height of the 7th floor than I could at home. That Vega, above is Deneb, then Altar, the famous summer triangle. In the western sky was the Haru no Daikyokusen, the great spring arc, stretching from the Big Dipper. You could barely see the spring triangle, Arcturus, the Nebula, and Spica. When did it happen? When did I become able to find these stars so easily? It was after I had stopped going to school, about 3 years after in winter, a little before I first met Miss Shiraishi.
左がプロキオン、右がベテルギウス。
I might have a feeling I can tell where she might want to go eventually if there will be a trip.
そして最も輝くのがシリウス。
The winter triangle. Pointing them out in the night sky, I whispered that. A few years earlier, after I had idly looked them up in the encyclopedia, I had at some point wound up memorizing them. Now I knew not just the winter constellations, but also the summer ones. If I looked up at the night sky, I'd probably find them instantly.
いつか私もあそこに行けるのだろうか。
That's not exactly what I meant, but maybe. When you die, you become a star. I think I was told that when I was a kid. Of course, that wasn't going to happen. I wasn't childish enough to believe that. But
手の届かないものだから憧れた。
and exactly because they were things beyond my reach, I might have used it as an excuse to give up on myself. And the next day, when lunch had just past noon, when I had nothing else to do except wait until the evening temperature check. So I was playing the usual game, and next to me she was idly watching. It was around when she would get bored of just watching and start saying something.
ねえ、すみれ。あんたがゲームうまいの分かったけどさ。何？こうやってゲームしてるだけじゃダメじゃないの？商人になってくれとか、かっこいいこと言ったくせにさ。
I knew that without having to be reminded, but I couldn't think of what I should be doing.
あかりは、どうすればいいと思う？ちょっと、私に聞かないでよ。言ってみれば私は観客よ。あなたの人生でしょうが。
She was exactly right. She said it before too, that I should decide on my own what stage I would die on.
でも私、ほとんど外出したこともないし。私だって似たようなもんよ。
Even if something were thought up, the experience to decide on it wasn't there. Not in me, and probably not in Akari either. For people with no experience, to begin with, the list of choices for things we needed to do, want to do, was far too limited. Yuka.
あの子のとこ寄ってみようかしら。
I remembered that with one hand on the wheel. By her I meant Akari. The place I was headed was the hospital she was admitted to. Apparently she had been going regularly to the 7th floor. I'm sure it was because of the girl she said was previous acquaintance. I checked the clock. 11 p.m. It was late enough that she should be returning around now.
よ、あかり。久しぶりね。ゆかくん。あんた最近、あっちの7階によく行ってるそうね。まあね。もしかして友達でもできた？残念ながらそういうのじゃないわ。ま、別にいいけどね。
The actual point had little to do with this. Up until now, she had refused to even listen to anyone. It was important that she interact normally with people besides myself. That said, the person was a resident of the 7th floor. From what she had explained to me before, people with short lifespans were exempt. In other words, her rules weren't in effect with them.
ねえゆか、あんたに質問があるんだけどさ。何よ。思い出作りって何をすればいいの？思い出作り？もう、あまり時間ないと思うんだよね。
That was enough to catch her meaning. Not having time, making memories. The words connected. I'm sure it had something to do with the girl on the 7th floor. I had a feeling Akari was trying to do something for her.
まあ、とりあえずドライブでも行ってきたら？ドライブって、私が運転するの？ええ、せっかく免許取ったんだから活用しなくちゃ。いや、無理でしょう。私にはいろんな意味でハードル高すぎよ。
Well, I figured she was going to refuse. But this might be a very important thing. It was a really big opportunity, you might say. When I insisted on her getting her license, it was just to encourage her to be a bit more forward-facing. Anything would have worked. Lately, I've heard that she'd been putting into the company's social media department. I don't know why, but it wasn't a bad thing.
とりあえず渡しておくから好きにして。
As I spoke, I left my car key on the table.
マジで私乗らないわよ。
Don't forget about documents.
別にいいわよ。病院の駐車場に止めっぱなしにしておくから。
Documents. い Yeah, the car key is not enough. The documents. Okay, ignoring the voice behind me, I quickly left. I drove the car to the usual spot. It was probably okay for me to leave it parked in the lot for a while. This meant I'd be taking the train to work for a while, but that was fine. What a car needed was interaction with people. Bonds might even be the appropriate word.
もし今、姫子が私を見たら、何と言うだろうか。
Would she be angry that I lent her precious car to someone else? Would she berate me for being reckless and letting a freshly minted license holder drive it? Or would she think that someone as unreliable as me had become brazen enough to meddle with other people's affairs?
少しは褒めてくれるのだろうか。
The next day. After an early lunch and afternoon temperature check, ended I was in my hospital room with nothing much to do. As usual, I was in my room playing video games, with Akari reading manga listlessly next to me.
ねえ、すみれ。ふと思ったんだけど、あんたってさ、いつもロープレ系ばっかやってるのね。そうかな。もしかして、そういうファンタジーの世界観が好きなの？どうなんだろう。
I hadn't really thought much about it before. If anything, most of my games weren't the ones I wanted myself but hand-me-downs from my brother. But it was true that I spent most of my time on RPGs, which automatically meant fantasy settings were more common.
もしかしたら好きなのかも。じゃあさ、いっそそういう場所にでも行ってみれば？そういう場所って？あ、そりゃロープレとかに出そうな場所よ。なんかこうダンジョンチックな洞窟とか城とか。
I didn't quite get it, but Akari was getting worked up. Was she talking about those kinds of places in the real world?
どう？あなたの死に場所にぴったりかもよ。いやよ、そんな変なとこ。第一、そんな場所どこにあるのか知らないし。そりゃあ私だって同じ。そうね。
For some reason, when she said that, she looked at the clock.
12時半か。次の検温まで4時間もあるわね。よし、とりあえずテスト走行しましょう。はい。いいからちょっと来なさいよ。
As if she were pushing me from behind, I wound up leaving the room.
ねえ、どこに行くのよ。もうちょっと先よ。
From the main entrance on the first floor, Akari went further ahead. I continued to follow her, still confused. Eventually, is it me? Is it my imagination, or the way she parked is not really great? I mean, that line is clearly going not in the place correct. Not nice, not nice. That's not how you park a car. Eventually we arrived at the edge of the parking lot. There she stopped in front of the single car parked there. A red open-top car. Apparently it was a two-seater.
この車ね。
Without even opening the door, she leisurely jumped in the driver's seat and motioned to me with her hand.
さ、乗って。本気？
Was it alright to just leave the hospital like this? And whose car was this?
大丈夫よ。テスト走行だから、駅前あたり行くだけだし。
So it's alright then. For I'm worried what the words test drive mean. But it only takes 10 minutes to walk to the station, so if we hurry back...
お、フロントエンジンかかった。次はクラッチを踏んで、サイドブレーキを。
You don't actually need to step on the clutch to take the handbrake, but well, whatever.
教習所の車と違うわね。どこかしら。
Her way of talking is making me really nervous.
じゃあ、行くわよ。
With the deep blue sky reflecting off the hood, the open-top car drove. Since it didn't have a top, the wind blew around us. It felt good. Since the majority of times I had been in a car were in taxis. Everything was fresh and fascinating, but...
ねえ、なんかガクガクして気持ち悪いかも。贅沢言わないでよ。免許取り立てなんだから。あ、ついでに言うと初めての運転だからね。そう。安全運転してね。
Totally believing in her, right? I gripped the seatbelt. My hair was becoming a giant mess from the wind, but I just have to bear it. And so we drove for a while, and either she finally got used to driving, or I got used to her way of driving.
なかなか面白いわね。車の運転ってのも。
Maybe she was able to relax a bit now, because she said that with just one hand on the wheel. I had also loosened my death grip on my seatbelt and was holding down my messy bangs with my hand.
ところで、まだ駅に着かないの?
It had already been 10 minutes since we left the hospital. Even just walking it would have taken less time than 15, so this was far too long. It even seemed like the roads were that congested.
ここ、どこだろうね。はい。実は、さっきから適当に走ってただけでさ。
I do know that.
何笑ってごまかしてるのよ。しょうがないでしょ。この車、ナビもないんだもん。
That's not the problem. For one thing, that was something you'd know the second you got into the car.
大丈夫よ。そのうち着くから。
It's not that I actually believe those words or anything. In the end, after 3 hours, we arrived in front of the station. We didn't do anything in particular, just went around in circles before going back. We managed to get back in time for the evening temperature check, but at this pace, we wouldn't be able to go far without it becoming night.
でもさ、これでいつでも大丈夫よ。大丈夫って。私はあなたの証人として義務を果たせるって意味よ。あなたが自分の死の舞台をどこに選んだとしてもね。
Under an orange sky, Akar declared to me, even though I still hadn't thought of any such place yet myself. There will be more! Anyway, let's end the episode here, and tomorrow we are going with chapter 7, which I have no idea if it's the last one or not. Not that I want it to end, but I'm curious if there will be more. And I wish there was more. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Bye bye!